the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippine troops remain unaffected by world war with China, according to Philippine Navy.
Philippine Navy's BRP Miguel Malvar arrives in India for 3rd Indian Navy IFR and Milan 2026. Philippines and Italy ink new defense cooperation deal.
President Marcos orders release of 321 million peso for over 40 areas hit by Basha. Good day, everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Aguinaldo in Quezon City. Today is Monday, February 16, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. In behalf of Rob Suzon Abay, this is Jhai Simbajon here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Philippine Navy assured the public that troops remain unaffected by Chinese embassy's world war and public attacks against Philippine officials and institutions. In a statement, Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, said the troops are in front line and committed to their mandate and fully understands the issues. The said statement came following Chinese embassy's attack against lawmakers who vowed they would not be silenced or deterred by statements from the foreign actors. Meanwhile, Rear Admiral Trinidad emphasized that Filipino troops are not affected by the said issues and actually know what they are doing.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Indian Navy welcomed the arrival of the Philippine Navy Guided Missile Frigate BRP Miguel Malvar in India to take part in the 3rd Indian Navy International Fleet Review and the Multilateral Naval Exercise 2026. The said frigate, who left the Philippines for India last February 5, will join the 3rd IFR scheduled on February 18 and Milan 2026 on February 19 to 26. According to the Philippine Navy, this marks the first time in the Philippine Navy is participating in a naval exercise held in India, while the first foreign mission for FFG-06, promoting Philippine maritime diplomacy and regional cooperation. Meanwhile, cultural programs, sports activities, and ship visits are also planned as part of the engagement.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear some information from Jhai about Commander Northern Luzon Command champions operational readiness at CAPEX 2026 ROC drills. Jhai.
Yes, good afternoon. The Commander, Northern Luzon Command, Lieutenant General Aristotle D. Gonzalez, Philippine Air Force, attended the Combined Arms Planning Exercise 2026 and witnessed the rehearsal of concept drill conducted by the 7th Infantry Division and 5th Infantry Division at Fort Ramon Magsaysay and Camp Melchor F. de la Cruz. The rehearsal of concept drill is a small-scale tabletop exercise that is done to test plans and concepts without the employment of large-scale formations and troops. During the ROC drill, Lieutenant General Gonzalez commended the professionalism, discipline, and active participation of the involved units, noting that their level of preparedness reflects strategic maturity and a strong commitment to mission accomplishment. He commended both infantry divisions for the successful conduct of the exercise, along with the planners, facilitators, controllers, evaluators, and support personnel whose collective efforts made the drill focused and meaningful. This is Meljo Inesio Arroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And troops from the 94th Infantry Mandirigma Battalion joined the Peace and Security Awareness Symposium held at West Visayas State University campus in Barangay Caradioan, Himamaylan City. During the activity, discussion focused on CTG recruitment strategies, the role of youth in countering insurgency, awareness on deceptive propaganda, the importance of the West Philippine Sea, national sovereignty, community participation in peace building, and the government's effort in building conflict-resilient barangays. Kaa Jojo B. Balao, the former rebel and 94th IB surrenderee, spoke at the symposium about his journey of reconciliation and reintegration, motivating students to embrace peace and nation building. Meanwhile, 94th IB reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening partnerships with academic institutions in promoting peace consciousness, security awareness, and youth empowerment in support of lasting peace in Negros Occidental.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And 11th Infantry Alacdan Division and Joint Task Force Orion Commander Major General Leonardo I. Peña presented a Philippine flag and conferred the posthumous Bronze Cross Medal to Mrs. Jeneline C. Sabuyas, widow of Staff Sergeant Wendell C. Sabuyas Jr. The said award and presentation of flag was in recognition of his heroism in risking his life to save others during the MV Trishna Kirstine III maritime tragedy. Witness accounts recall Staff Sergeant Sabuyas' bravery as he assisted civilians amid the disaster, embodying the valor, discipline, and compassion of the Alacdan troopers. Meanwhile, Staff Sergeant Sabuyas' remains lie at Camp Arturo T. Enrile, Malagutay, Zamboanga City for vigil honors, allowing family, comrades, and the public to pay their respects.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
From Joanne, more updates about province of Kalinga adopts Northern Luzon Command Commander as honorary son. Joanne?
The Armed Forces of the Philippines Northern Luzon Commander Lieutenant General Aristotle D. Gonzales was adopted as the son of the province of Kalinga and conferred the honorary name Gasinga on February 14 during the culmination program of the 31st Kalinga founding anniversary and 7th Bodong Festival, where he served as guest of honor and speaker. The Provincial Sangguniang passed Resolution number 2026-047 adopting Lieutenant General Gonzales in honor of his exemplary service to the nation and whose leadership, integrity, and dedication have significantly contributed to peace, safety, and development. According to the resolution, Gasinga is a revered traditional symbol of a fearless warrior, molded under the guidance of a chieftain, distinguished by exceptional strength, skill, discipline, and courage, whose life journeys through sacrifice, valor, and service culminate in the triumph of peace, unity, and the harmonious communities. Kalinga Representative Carolina Giao, Governor James Eduba, Vice Governor Dave Odiem, and members of the SP garb Lieutenant General Gonzales with the Kalinga traditional male attire and regalia, including the shield and spear, feathered headgear, and a G-string as a symbol of the recognition and acceptance of the community. Gasinga is also a character in the Kalinga epic Ulalim as the son of its main heroes, Banna and Onnawa. This is John Sagok reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the 1102nd Infantry Ganarul Brigade conducted a localized peace engagement at the headquarters of the 101st Infantry sa Jahitra Battalion. The activity aimed to sustain the declaration of gun-free and redo-free communities in Umar and Gluok. The activity gathered 10 Moro National Liberation Front leaders, community representatives, and security partners. Discussion focused on the importance of unity, dialogue, and community responsibility in sustaining peace initiatives. Meanwhile, the activity concluded with the signing of a pledge of support, symbolizing the collective commitment of stakeholders to uphold peace in Umar and Gluok.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And for our national news,
DWDD National News.
the Philippines and Italy have sealed the new bilateral defense cooperation agreement after more than a year of review. Department of Foreign Affairs Secretary Maria Teresa Lazaro and Italian Minister of Defense Guido Crosetto signed the deal, which replaces an expired memorandum of understanding. Lazaro said the signing serves as another concrete step to move the Philippine-Italy cooperation forward. Meanwhile, the Philippine ambassador to Italy, Neil Imperial, said the agreement will include provisions on procurement, defense co-production, and logistics and technology collaboration.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Jess about united efforts leads to SIP's declaration in Tiwi Albay. Jess?
The municipality of Tiwi Albay has been officially declared a stable internal peace and security area in a formal ceremony attended by the 31st Infantry Charge Battalion under the 9th Infantry Division led by Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Cliff Chester L. D. Ocampo, Philippine Army. The declaration reflects the unified efforts of the local government unit of Tiwi, government agencies, the security sector, and the local community in sustaining peace and order in the municipality. The continuous coordination and support from the Philippine Army played a vital role in strengthening stability and security in the area. As part of the program, a memorandum of agreement signing and pledge of commitment were conducted, symbolizing the shared responsibility and continued collaboration of stakeholders in preserving peace and promoting development in Tiwi. The SIP's declaration stands as a testament to the strong partnership between the government and the people in building a safe, peaceful, and progressive community. The 31st Infantry Charge Battalion remains committed to supporting initiatives that uphold peace and order in the province. This is Jess from Solcom reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Jess.
DWDD National News.
And President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has ordered a release of around 321 million peso in assistance. This aims to hasten the recovery of 34 provinces and 8 cities affected by the tropical storm Bashang and the shear line. The Presidential Communications Office said President Marcos has instructed Executive Secretary Ralph Recto to ensure the immediate distribution of funds to the intended beneficiaries. Surigao del Sur, Surigao del Norte, Dinagat Islands, Negros Oriental, Agusan del Norte, Agusan del Sur, Misamis Oriental, Bohol, Negros Occidental, Capiz, Aklan, Leyte, Cebu, Catanduanes, Iloilo, Camarines Sur, Camigan, Eastern Samar, and Sorsogon are among the provinces that will receive financial aid.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippines and Canada will commence their first round of negotiation for a bilateral free trade agreement next week. Department of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Angelica Escalona said the Philippines will host the formal negotiations from February 18 to 20. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney agreed to initiate the talks, intending to conclude them within the year during their bilateral meeting in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia in October last year. According to the Canadian Foreign Affairs Ministry, Canadian stakeholders have a high level of support for the potential Canada-Philippines FTA, seeing its benefits of increased trades.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now we have some information from Leonor about air mission strengthens tactical and community support in South Cotabato and Sarangani. Leonor?
The Tactical Operations Group 12, in coordination with the 105th Infantry Battalion, conducted a multi-point air mission across Lake Cebu, Tiboli, Maasim, and Kiamba. The unit deployed there two Da-70I Black Hawk helicopters were deployed to access mountainous terrain of South Central Mindanao, reaching geographically isolated communities. The mission included the distribution of information materials on government programs, including ECLIP and the resupply of troops stationed in remote areas. Medical personnel from the Lake Cebu Municipal Health Office were also airlifted to Sitio Bohong Barangay Tasiman to address health concerns, including a reported measles outbreak in the community. This is Lenore Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. emphasized the importance of sustained collaboration with the private sector to attain the government's goal of providing Filipinos with accessible, affordable, and reliable power supply. Marcos hailed Meralco's continued support for his administration's effort to overhaul the Philippine power industry. He also acknowledged the largest distribution utility's crucial role in advancing the government's national energy agenda. The chief executive then expressed satisfaction over the simplified and faster processes to ensure a stable and reliable power supply.
DWDD National News.
And more than 300 human immunodeficiency virus or HIV care facilities are now operating across the country, expanding access to testing and treatment services for Filipinos. The Department of Health reported that 338 HIV care facilities are currently providing free HIV-related services. These include screening and confirmatory testing, antiretroviral therapy, counseling, combination prevention methods, and viral load testing. Of the total, 186 facilities are in Luzon and 77 in the Visayas and 75 in Mindanao.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more updates from Junes about gift giving and feeding activity benefits IP communities in Barangay Tanabag, Puerto Princesa City. Junes?
Successful gift-giving and feeding activity was conducted on February 14, 2026 in Barangay Tanabag, Puerto Princesa City, benefiting members of the Batak and Tagbanwa tribes along with other indigenous peoples residing in the area. The outreach initiative was carried out through the collaborative efforts of the 6th Civil Relations Group, Civil Military Operations Command, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Civil Military Operations Unit West, Marine Battalion Landing Team 9, Peace Palawan, and the barangay officials of Barangay Tanabag. The activity was held under the leadership of Honorable Cesarina M. Cabalquinto, Barangay Captain, whose office played a key role in organizing and coordinating the event. The program aimed to provide essential assistance to indigenous communities while strengthening the partnership between government forces, local officials, and civil society organizations. Beneficiaries received food packs, meals, and assorted gifts as part of the humanitarian effort. The event concluded with heartfelt appreciation from members of the indigenous communities, highlighting the positive impact of continued outreach and cooperation in Puerto Princesa City. This is Junes reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Junes.
DWDD National News.
And more than 11,000 cops are set to be deployed to provide security for the upcoming trillion peso march and related activities. This aims to ensure the safety and security of participants and the general public. Philippine National Police Chief John Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. emphasized the importance of coordination and preparedness as the PNP intensifies its readiness for large-scale public gatherings. The planned gatherings will feature prayer and indignation rallies on February 22 and 25, with an expected turnout of around 50,000 participants. To further strengthen coordination, the PNP will hold a coordination conference this coming week in line with the processing of permits and the finalization of operational plans with event organizers.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Education is looking into implementing a trimester system for the incoming school year 2026 to 2027. DepEd said the move is part of a holistic approach to balance time management for students that allows for a more flexible approach to quality teaching. DepEd Secretary Sonia Angara explained that they are proposing so they can have longer and continuous periods of learning, a more appropriate pacing of study, and a lower administrative burden for our teachers. He added in this way, the agency can be assured of a quality of education.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more from Kath about Tactical Operations Group 1 donates 30 empty drums to the 5th Infantry Division. Kath?
Yes, good noon. The Tactical Operations Group 1 donated 30 empty aviation drums to the 5th Infantry Division in support of the Repurposed Aviation Drum Garbage Bin Project. The initiative converts unused aviation drums into functional garbage bins to promote environmental stewardship and efficient resource utilization. The project supports territorial defense operations and aligns with JTF Talos Compliant Fortress North, contributing to improved cleanliness, sustainability, and operational readiness within the unit area of responsibility. The activity highlights TOG 1's continued commitment to inter-unit cooperation and environmental responsibility. This is Kat reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath. Another update from Gina about 89th Infantry Battalion supports 10th CADT anniversary, conducts IP security awareness drive. Gina?
Yes, Jhai, personnel of Bravo Company 89th Infantry Battalion supported the 10th anniversary celebration of the Certificate of Ancestral Domain Title or CADT held at Purok 9, Barangay Pualas, Don Carlos. The event commemorated a decade of formally recognized ancestral rights and honored the heritage and identity of the indigenous cultural communities. As part of the activity, the unit conducted a Culture of Security lecture under the Massive Awareness Campaign for Indigenous Peoples. The engagement underscored the continuing partnership of the Philippine Army with indigenous communities in promoting cultural respect, security awareness, and sustainable peace and development. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
And Senate Committee on Basic Education Chairperson Senator Bam Aquino wants the upper chamber to conduct a hearing into the proposed plan of the Department of Education to implement a trimestral system for school year 2026 to 2027. Aquino said they will make sure there will be a Senate hearing about this reform to probe into it and discuss it. He added that before the DepEd implements the trimestral system, it is important that it will be subjected to broad consultation. The lawmaker then emphasized that the Senate committee supports the DepEd in its proposal for reforms, but any move should be thoroughly studied.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Social Welfare and Development has reiterated its warning against unscrupulous individuals who submit fake documents to acquire assistance from its programs and services. This includes assistance to individuals in crisis situation. The DSWD spokesperson, Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao, reminded the public not to use fake IDs or any falsified documents to apply for assistance from the DSWD or any government agency. She added that this is strictly prohibited and carries appropriate punishment under the revised penal code. Dumlao's warning was made after an incident on February 11 wherein a social worker from the DSWD National Capital Region intercepted a male client who was attempting to seek medical assistance under the AICS program.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, updates from AMI about 4th Marine Brigade hosts closing ceremony of Apex 05-26 Acero. Amy?
The 4th Marine Brigade successfully hosted the closing ceremony of the Archipelagic Coastal Defense Preparedness Exercise, so APEX 05-26 Acero, held at the Luok Grandstand Headquarters, Camp Cape, Bujidor, Burgos, Ilocos Norte. The Marine Corps Force Development Center, or MCFDC, played a vital role in planning, directing, and evaluating the conduct of APEX 05-26 Acero to ensure that all training objectives were accomplished and operational readiness standards were met. The ceremony concluded with a strong affirmation of the Philippine Marine Corps' steadfast commitment to defending the nation's sovereignty, upholding territorial integrity, and protecting national interest. This is Amir reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Amy. Let us hear the report of Erica about Philippine Navy host Australian warship advances interoperability efforts. Erica?
Yes, Jhai, the Philippine Navy through the Philippine Fleet continues to enhance Navy-to-Navy relations with the Royal Australian Navy during the ongoing port visit of HMAS Toowoomba at Naval Operating Base in Subic, Zambales. Bilateral discussions focused on expanding maritime cooperation, strengthening interoperability, and identifying opportunities for future joint activities between the two navies. The engagement also sets the stage for the upcoming exercise Kakadu, aimed at further enhancing
enhancing multilateral maritime cooperation and professional ties among participating forces. The visit highlights the shared commitment of both navies to deepen collaboration, improve operational capability, and promote a secure and stable maritime environment. This is Erica reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Erica.
DWDD National News.
And for our final news, despite an overall decline in teenage pregnancies, the Commission on Population and Development has raised concern over an increase in pregnancies among very young adolescents, citing the need for more localized interventions. The CPD said the country is seeing a demographic shift from teenage pregnancies to what is described as child pregnancies in 2024. Data from the Philippine Statistics Authority showed that 138,697 live births in 2024 were to mothers aged 10 to 19. Of this number, 3,612 births were to girls below 15-year-old, rising from 3,343 cases recorded in 2023.
DWDD National News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our DWDD Radio Facebook page. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Jhai for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.